This is my first time just doing like a raw video. I'm going to share about my ayahuasca experience. It just happened last night and I pulled all-nighters, so I might look a little tired. I want to start with the preparation. So in order to prepare for the ayahuasca, you have to go on a diet called dieta, where you can't eat oil, salt, sugar, refined, like artificial colors, refined flour, refined sugar, like none of that. Like it has to be like whole food. The way that I did it personally is I would drink a berry smoothie with water for breakfast. For lunch, I would eat just plain brown organic rice with a tomato and an avocado for lunch. And for dinner, I would have plain oats with water, no sugar. I would add raisins for like sweetness. And it's recommended that you have this diet for required 3 days before the ceremony, but recommended like a week. I did a week and a half. I did 10 days. So really purifying the body, the vessel for the medicine. And then yeah, the cravings were crazy. Like I was craving food so much. It was really intense, but that's not the hardest thing. 4 days before the ceremony, I felt compelled, I just felt called to turn off all my electronics and to stay offline until after the ceremony. And the first day of like being off electronics was intense. I was seriously like feeling intense withdrawals and just like I didn't feel comfortable, and I don't know if it was because the electronics and because of like the no salt, no sugar diet, but I felt just like uneasy, like really like I was like withdrawing from, or like withdrawals, you know, from these drugs that we constantly cloud our mind with, we distract ourselves with. The first day was hard. The first night I couldn't sleep. I was like sweating cold. I felt weird. I felt off. It was literally like coming off of a drug. Second and third and fourth day was awesome. I loved it. I was like spending more time with my family. I was more involved in the physical realm. It reminded me of when I was a kid and just like entertaining myself with actually cool memory that I received during the no electronics phase. I remember that when I was like 5 or 6, I used to get really excited for like a deck of playing cards. So for some reason, my mom never had a deck of playing cards or any sort of like tarot or oracle. I didn't even know tarot or oracle cards existed until I was like 15, 16. But like regular, like a playing deck. Every time I would go visit my grandma, I would get really excited to get her playing deck and just play with it, grab it, lock myself in a room, lay the cards out, read the energy, play with it, tell myself a story, read like my imaginary friends' cards. And I didn't even know about like numerology, symbolism, the elements. I didn't know any of that, but for some reason, like I already knew how to read cards. And I didn't even know that reading cards was a thing. Like I didn't even know that tarot was a thing. I remember that memory while being offline, because one of my like most favorite pastimes during the offline time was to just play with the cards and to almost talk to the cards like they're a friend, or like it's almost like I was channeling an energy that I could be friends with. Like I could talk to an energy and I was using the cards as a medium for communication with the energy. And I was like, whoa, like I am like I'm a vessel, I'm a conduit for this energy, and like these cards is like an instrument of intuitiveness. So that was pretty cool. I did a lot of that. I realized that reading cards is probably something that I did in a past life, or just something that I've done many times before, because it's just something that, I mean, since I was a kid, since before I knew that was a thing, it was like something that my soul will feel really excited about. So night before the ceremony, a couple nights before the ceremony, my sleeping schedule was starting to adjust naturally to where I would be up all night and sleep throughout the day. Not up all night, just like sleeping 2 to 3 hours during the night, but mostly just like taking naps during the day. And I feel like it was like my soul feeling like anticipating and knowing that I was going to be pulling an all-nighter for ayahuasca, and shifting my sleep schedule so that I would be able to pull that all-nighter without being like totally tired. The night before the ceremony, this is where it gets really intense, really crazy, really magical. I'm still like tripping out about it. The night before the ceremony, I had a dream. I couldn't sleep, but the like I don't know how long I slept for, but I had this really intense DMT type vivid lucid dream where I was getting ready for the ceremony. I'm walking out of my room, and there's a lot of women in my house in this dream, not in real life. In this dream, there's just like a lot of women in my life. I'm in this house. And it's funny because ayahuasca is like mother feminine energy. So I walk out of my room, and there's this really pretty white girl sitting there talking to her dad about some sort of like graduation. And she has like green eyes, and her features are very distinct, and her mannerism, her way of being, her way of moving, very distinct, very unique. I've never met this person before. As I'm walking by, something of mine gets caught in her eye. I think it was like a bracelet or something, but it gets caught in her eyelid, and specifically her right eye. It gets caught, but she doesn't notice what's bothering her in her eye. She's just like, she's just like, something's bothering. She just doesn't like, she's not like aware of what it is, but she can feel it. And I'm standing there like, I can't leave because I'm gonna rip your eyelid. And I'm waiting for her to realize that she needs to help me unhook this thing from her eyelid. But she's talking to her dad. So finally she hangs up the phone. She's like, oh, and she starts unhooking this thing from her eyelid, and it looks totally painful, and like she's just like pulling it or something. And I'm just standing there like, holy shit. After she unhooks it, we both look at each other and we just start laughing like, whoa, like that looked painful. And then she offers me to vape with her, and I'm like, oh, sorry, I'm not vaping, because like before the ceremony you're not supposed to like do any other mind-altering substances. And she's like kind of sneaky, like, well, like, you know, you can't vape, but nobody said you couldn't secondhand inhale. She didn't say it, but she just like, she sent me the telepathic, you know, message. And so she hits the pen and she's like blowing it out like that, like thinly, I don't know, signaling for me to like inhale the smoke that was coming out of her mouth. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm down for that. And so I inhale it, and it's really sweet. And as I'm walking away, I feel like I'm floating, like I start to like fall, and I'm floating and falling in this like abyss, like empty abyss, but at the same time I'm being like cradled carefully. It's almost like a very warm, fuzzy feeling, very like nurturing feeling. I'm falling. I'm like, oh, this is it. This is Mother Ayahuasca. I am in the ceremony. Like, this is it. And I could swear that I was already in the medicine. I was already in the ceremony. And I'm falling, and I fall into this pool of infinite abundance. And I'm like, cool, like, wow, like I'm here, I'm it, like I'm infinitely abundant. And then I'm like asking Mother, how can I translate this into the matrix? How can I come back into this system and translate this infinite abundance? And as soon as I'm like asking that question, I'm like, hold on a minute, like I'm not in the medicine. I don't remember actually going to the medicine yet, to the ceremony. And so I get kind of spooked out that I'm having this sensation, but I'm not in the medicine. Like, how did I get here, you know? Oh, by the way, my spiritual guide Leia was there. So I'm gonna send this video to her. Leia was like the mother, like guiding me into this like pool of abundance. And so I get kind of spooked out. I try to open my eyes in real life, but I'm still heavily in this like DMT trip. So DMT is like the chemical that is produced in our pineal gland, and it's a chemical that helps us, or that is the dream chemical. It makes us dream. It's like a very colorful, it like creates a lot of colors, and the pineal gland has like rods and cones that can detect light, and so that's how we see, that's how we dream with our third eye. So like, very heavy DMT vibes, very heavy. Like I was like full body experience. I was floating, all that. So I opened my eyes in real life, still in the DMT experience. So I can't really recognize where I am because things look different, like fuzzy. But I see this white light. I see this being, this figure of a person standing in my room made of light, and I get kind of spooked out. I'm like, holy shit, who's here? Like not scared, but like spooked, like whoa, like there's someone in my room, and it's like an angel. And so I close my eyes and I open them again, and it's still standing there, it's just standing there. And then suddenly I feel like I'm being sucked into the light, and it almost feels like I'm being licked, like sucked into through a tunnel into the angel, into the light. And you know, being in the tunnel going towards the light is always the experience that people have when they're about to transcend. And so I get kind of spooked out because it all feels so intense. It's just like a really physically intense and vivid, and I have my eyes open in real life, so this is like, it feels so real. So I get too spooked out. I wake myself up from it, but I wake myself up into another dream where I'm in this room, this dark room with like people in it. I wake up and there's I ask to the people like, hey, are we supposed to go yet to the ceremony? Because like this whole dream is about me like anticipating having to go to the ceremony. I knew that I wasn't there yet, but it was just like this feeling of like, we're about to go. So I wake up from the dream and I'm like, are we supposed to go yet? Like I'm almost like asking like, are we running late or something? And this really nice girl with like beautiful like round baby face, she comes up to me, she's so nice, and she's like, no, not yet. And then I look to my right and I see this like this girl with like Mexican features. She reminds me of like my aunt. She's there and she's kind of crying. She's like, oh my gosh, you guys, like you don't even know, like I've been going through it. And she's kind of like crying, but like warrior type crying, like she's just going through something uncomfortable. And she's to my right. Two other girls come up, and it's like 5 of us, and we all huddle together. And the girl with the round face says, yeah, I was just having this really vivid dream right now. And I was like, me too, I felt like I was dying. And she's like, wow, like yeah, me too. And then we're all just like keeping each other company, because honestly the dream kind of scared me. But then waking up in that dream, like the dream about being sucked into the light kind of scared me, but waking up in the dream where I'm surrounded by girls and they're like, yeah, we're all going through it, really comforted me. Like I'm not the only one going through all this. And okay, so that's the dream, and this is where it gets crazy. At the ceremony, I arrive and I see some girls that like kind of match the same features, but I don't really think anything of it. I'm like it's just features, you know. The girl with the eyelids, she was white with green eyes, and she had like this, but it was like her way of being, her energy, her mannerisms was very unique. And then the girl with the beautiful like round face, she's just like very nice, very sweet. And like I see a girl that kind of fits that description, and she looks really nice, but like I don't really know them. I'm just like, oh, maybe I'm just, you know, it's just features. It's just like yeah. So I don't really think anything of it until after the ceremony. The shaman goes in a circle asking all of us about our experiences. When it comes, and during the ceremony, we're not supposed to speak to each other. We're supposed to go on an inward journey. So I still haven't met the people in the ceremony that well. So we get to the girl that's to my right, and I have this crazy like flashback to my dream when she's saying, oh my gosh, you guys, I've been going through it. She has the same energy, she has the same face, she has the same features. She's to my right, just like she was in the dream. And she's saying that she was going through something uncomfortable. And I was like, I had a dream about this. And so when it's my turn, because I'm next, I'm like, before I share my experience, like I just gotta say that I had a dream last night, like a really intense DMT dream, and you were in it, and you were laying right next to me, and you were like going through it. And I had a dream about that, and I also had a dream about that girl and that girl. I remember, like, I pointed out to the girls that had like the similar features, but I still hadn't like gotten to know them yet. And then the girl that in my dream said that she had also had a vivid dream literally says, last night I was having a vivid dream too. And I was like, no kidding, you said that in my dream. I was like, whoa, like it was starting to get really intense, and it gets crazier. So after the whole ceremony, this is already like the sun is rising up. We've been pulling an all-nighter doing ayahuasca together. Sun's rising up, we're all like chilling. So I approached the white girl because that's the girl that I had the most interaction with the whole bracelet getting caught in her eye and her talking to her dad and all that. I come up to her and I'm talking to her, and it's her. It's like her facial expressions, her mannerism, her way of being. It's like, yes, it was you in my dream. And I start telling her, so in my dream, I was walking by and something gets caught in your eyelid, and I'm just like there waiting, and she's just like she has like a face like, no way. But I'm just like explaining like, yeah, you were talking to your dad about some graduation, you were feeling kind of reluctant, you were like kind of like okay, kind of like crying, like reluctant, but kind of like okay, like whatever about it, like we're cool. Like she just has this energy of being kind of like very grounded, very serious. She's very cool. Like once I got to know her, like yeah, that energy was definitely in my dream. So after I told her the dream, she's like, you're not gonna believe this, like for the past week, I don't remember how long she said, maybe days, maybe a few weeks, but let's say for the past week, I've been having something bother me in my eye. And it's this, she's pointing to the same eye that I had the dream about, like something being in her eye. And I was like, what? Like, okay, it's crazy enough that I had a dream about people that I had not met yet. But it's even crazier that I dreamed specifically that something was in her eye and something was bothering her. She's like, yeah, something has been bothering me in my eye. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? And then she also said that her like parents have been kind of like, not pressuring her, but just kind of like expecting her to like get her master's degree. And she's kind of like, I don't know about that. And so that was her talking to her dad, the same energy, just kind of like very reluctant, like I guess, like okay, like talking about school. I was like, whoa, like, okay, like, I was already kind of, like, tripped out, spooked out that I had a dream about you before even meeting you, but the fact that I dreamed very specific details just blew my mind. And then the nice girl comes around, and we all, like, sit in a little circle, like, the three of us. And I tell her about my experience with, like, meeting her in my dream, and she's like, yeah, like, last night I was, like, astral projecting. I remember my body, my like spirit leaving my body and then coming back, but I don't know where I went. And I was like, you came into my dreams. And I told her, yeah, you were just this very nice girl, this very nice energy. And she's like totally so sweet. She's like Cancer with like Scorpio moon and rising, so she's like very watery. So watery people just have this like very like nurturing energy. They just want to take care of you. And I felt it, like I felt it in my dream and I felt it in real life. She's just like so sweet. She's just so sweet. So I was like, dang, I had a dream about you, and it was you, it was your energy, and we were all tripping out about that. So that was like the most, that tripped me out. So the actual trip, the actual ayahuasca experience, 20 minutes into the video. So I drank 3 cups. The first cup was like a little bit, second and third cup were like bigger doses. The first like cup of it was very painful. It was very uncomfortable. It was just like I was just feeling like I was feeling sick to my stomach. But I was like, okay, if I gotta throw up, I gotta throw up. Like we got buckets ready, like it's part of the ayahuasca experience to purge, right? And I was just like, am I gonna purge? Am I gonna purge? And then I didn't purge, but at the same time I was feeling kind of like queasy in my body, kind of nauseous. I was just like, and my heart hurt so much. It just hurt so much, and I was just like, it was like bitter, and it was just like uncomfortable, and like, oh, like this whole area was just so much pain, and pain that I hadn't been feeling, but it was there. It was there deep inside. And so I was just laying there like, why does life gotta be so painful? Like, this medicine is bitter. Like, oh, this medicine is just like making me feel like pain, bitterness. And I was just like, all right, like, medicine gotta heal you. It gotta be like a little bitter, you know, sometimes. And I was just thinking like, life is medicine, life is medicine. And I started crying because I was like, why does it feel like my whole life has been medicine? Like, my whole life has been just like, I don't know, just like, I don't know, thing after the other of like having to go through these experiences. And I just like, I cried a little bit about that. And then, but I know, like, it was just like in the moment. I know that I've had so many nice experiences, so many good experiences. So anyway, my heart was hurting, and my heart was like attached to my eggs, and I was just like I just want to get rid of these ties. And so Mother Ayahuasca grabs my heart, throws it away, like rips it out of my chest with ties and like this broken, beaten heart. She just like grabs it and throws it away. She's like, I'm gonna give you a new one. And so this little tiny heart starts sprouting and growing, and it's just like, it gives me the sensation of like fuzzy, warm feeling in my chest, like everything's good, like innocence, new, brand new heart, like like I can finally rest, like I just feel so whole, so complete. And naturally, like my heart had this warm of energy. It was like a warm of energy coming out from it, and it was like my heart wanted to attach itself to something, and that's what it naturally wanted to do. And I was like thinking like, I'm not complete yet because the other part of my heart is looking for something to pour itself out into. And so Mother Ayahuasca grabs the warm of energy and spirals it around my body, and it made me feel complete. It made me feel like, okay, I got a brand new heart, I'm complete, I don't need to give it to anyone, like I got it within me. It's like all self-love energy. And amazing vibes. After that, the third cup, the second and third cup, like was just like exciting, fun, like wanting to throw my hands in the air, like say thank you to the universe, like just really excited about life. Oh yeah, in the beginning when it was really painful, I just like, I felt like my body gave out. Like I just like, I couldn't even stand up. I just felt like I collapsed into the floor, and we were outside in the dirt but with like blankets. I collapsed, and I was just like hugging Mother Earth and releasing all of my stress and all of my pain and all of my like tension into Mother Earth. I was just like finally letting go, and I just kept like sighing, like like I was just like sighing of relief, like I'm finally letting go of all this tension. And that's when I got my new heart and all that. So okay, after I got done with that and I was feeling like really, really happy and excited for life, I was getting all these like creative ideas. I was like, all these projects that I could start. So I just graduated from state. I just got my bachelor's, and I've been thinking, what can I do for a career? What can I do for a career? I got my I got my bachelor's in communication. And so it's not like a clear path. Like this is just like a foundation for whatever I want to do, really. And I've been thinking about a master's in like health and human performance, because I'm very, very passionate about health, and most specifically like Eastern medicine and just like natural ways of healing, holistic healing. And that master's is for kind of like health coaching and all that. So I was like, okay, is this the right career path for me? What should I do? Should I like, what's gonna be my job? I started asking Mother Ayahuasca, like, what's gonna be my job? What's gonna be my career? What should I do for work? Like, how can I provide for myself? And she just gave me this energy. Like, I kept asking, and she was just like, don't worry about that. She's just like, not the answer I wanted to hear. I wanted her to tell me something very clear, very concrete, but she was just like, nah, like, you don't have to work. She's just like, you don't have to work. Look at your life. Look at your life. You have everything. What do you need? You don't need to work. You have everything. You have free time. You have abundance, you have resources. What do you need? You don't need to work. Like, you don't need to worry about that. Like, you go ahead and live your life. Go ahead and live out your purpose. Go ahead and do your passions. You have the freedom right now. She's just like, don't worry about work right now. And I was like, but Mother Ayahuasca, for real. Like, I need a job. Like, I need to, you know, be able to provide for myself eventually. What am I gonna do? What's gonna be my career? And she's like, you'll be taken care of. Don't worry. She's just like telling me, like, don't worry about it. Like, you're gonna be taken care of, just like you always have. You don't have to worry about it. And I've always been a really abundant person. Like, I've never lacked anything. Things just come to me. Whatever I want, I don't even have to go buy it. It's almost like the universe just gives me all these things all the time. And I have my Rahu in the second house, so that's like, or it's a Ketu, well, the south node. Which means, like, in a past life, I mastered the art of making money and providing for myself. So it's something that just comes naturally to me in this lifetime, like just having all that material abundance. It also makes it so that I'm a little bit detached when it comes to material things, which, you know, what happens when someone is detached to something, it comes to them. And yeah, like, my whole life has just been like, I don't really want anything. I remember my parents asking me, like, what do you want for your birthday? I'm like, not really anything. I got everything. Like, I've always been in that state of mind. Like, I have everything. I don't need anything. I was being like minimalistic, like, I don't need to buy anything from the store, like, I already have everything that I need. And so I always like ended up having all these amazing material things because I'm in that energy already of having. So Mother Ayahuasca was like, don't worry about it, you're abundant, like, you're gonna have everything that you need, all your needs are gonna be taken care of. And I was like, yeah, but I want to work, like, I want to have a career. And she's like, focus on your passions. Like, you have the freedom to that right now, do it. And so yeah, she started giving me all these like creative ideas, like paint a mural, make art, like make like those like big canvases, like those big art canvases. Just like make one of those for your living room, paint a mural over here, do home decoration, design a shirt, design a hoodie, make your tarot cards, make oracle cards. She just started also like play piano, like make spiritual songs on the piano, or just songs that you can sing. Songs, I imagine myself being a mother, and it's crazy. Like, I imagine myself being a mother to 7 children. It just like kept coming to me, like 7 children. Like, I imagine myself being in this ranch with my 7 little kids, and me being like an excellent mother, just teaching them about life in a spiritual way, and just living the natural life, teaching them the ways of the earth, eating healthy, being healthy, holistic, natural. And that kept coming to me, and I pictured myself playing piano for them and singing songs to them. And she's like, yeah, just focus on that. Like, learn a few fun songs that you're gonna play to your children later on. Focus on your art, do gardening. She's like, you live at home, you and your mom are, me and my mom are like best friends. I kept thinking about my mom during my whole trip. She's gonna be like my companion. Mother Ayahuasca said she's like my best friend. She's like my sister. She's only 16 years older than me. So, and she looks super young. So we look like sisters. We act like sisters. We're super close. She's my best friend. And I kept feeling really excited to like live life with her and experience all these things with her. She's a super artistic person. She can paint beautifully. So I just kept imagining myself like us doing these projects together, these creative projects together. And so I kept asking Mother Ayahuasca, okay, but what can I do for work? Like, how can I provide for myself? She's like, what do you need? Like, what do you need to buy? You have everything. And I was like, yeah, but like, it's nice to have like an income. And she's like, take care of your home. Help your mom take care of the home. Feed your family healthy food. Help them be healthier. Do gardening work around your house. Like, we don't have a garden, and I've always wanted a garden. I talked to my mom. She's like, I don't know how to take care of plants, my mom said. And I was like, I don't know how to take care of plants either, but I can learn. And I'm here, and we're in quarantine, and we're chilling. So I thought about like, okay, like I can start a garden with her. I can start doing art with her. I can take care of the home, take care of my family, feed my family, help them be healthier, focus on my art, focus on piano. Like, Mother Ayahuasca filled up my schedule. She's like, you don't need to work because you already have so many things to do, and you have the freedom, so take advantage of that. And I was like, okay, cool. And I was just like, you're right, I don't need anything, I got everything, I don't even have to try, I can just go on and live out my passions right now, I can just start living right now. And I just felt really excited, so it was a really cool experience. What else happened? Yeah, I think that was it. Hold up, I like journaled about it. Let me see. Let me get my journal. I was trying to journal during the medicine, and it's like 100 thoughts would come to me, and like I would only be able to write like 2 of them. So, but let's see if like there's anything here that I... Oh, okay. Well, this isn't during the medicine. This video is so long, but seriously, if you're still watching, yeah, it's... Thank you. Okay. Okay. This is before the medicine. So during my offline 4 days, since I couldn't use my phone as a timer to meditate, and I wanted to keep track of how long I was meditating, because what if I'm sitting for meditation for like 10 minutes and I feel like it's been like an hour and I can't really tell, because when you're in meditation you can't really tell time like that. I was like, I need to figure out a way to meditate for a long time and to know, like, keep track of that. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna meditate for 100 ohms, and I'm gonna make sure that each ohm is like fully exhaling until I have not a single drop of air in my lungs. I'm just gonna like long ohms, keeping my back straight, using my core to squeeze out the air out of my body. And so this like toned up my abs for real, and the diet too. And okay, so I did 100 ohms, and instead of counting from 1 to 100, I would count from 1 to 10 times, and keep track with my fingers so that I could keep my mind freed up for introspection, meditation, and all that. And this is what I came up with. I don't even need my notebook. Instead of counting like 1, 2, 3, I would count with the chakras. So I would start 1, I would focus on the root chakra. And I started getting so many downloads about numerology and how the energies are all connected. So watch. This is what I downloaded from this meditation. First chakra, root chakra, the first chakra of this earth, deals with material things, deals with stability and foundation. So I imagined like the number 1 is like a stick, and it just like pierces through a veil into a new dimension. And so it starts 1. You put it on its side, and it's the foundation. And so it's the root chakra, the foundation, number 1 on this side. Whoa. So 1, root chakra. And then this 1 turns into a circle, and it turns into a yin yang. And it's like the sacral chakra, the chakra number 2, the one after that, the one in our sexual organs, deals with sexual energy and creative energy. So number 2 takes a man and a woman to have sexual energy with each other to create life, creation. And so I imagine like this perfect, harmonious, like coexistence of 2 things, like a yin yang, just like spiraling for the sacral chakra. And then I would move on to my solar plexus. Solar plexus is about having that willpower, that force in life, moving forward and going after what you want. And so number 3 is like a triangle. So I imagine this circle turning into a triangle, and each of the points would like stretch out into new horizons. And this also mirrors the energy from tarot, because in tarot the number 3 deals with like expansion and like reaching, like going to new places, exploring, all that. And so triangle. And we move on to the 4th chakra, which is the heart. And I'm like, okay, 4, a square. How does a square make sense with the heart chakra? And I was thinking about it through meditation, and I was like, oh, okay, so the heart is the main chakra of our whole system. It's like the biggest, what's it called? Like the magnetic field of our body is centered at the heart center. And I just kept thinking, like a square is like very centered, very like stable, stability, like a foundation, kind of grounded. So it's like ground yourself in your heart. It's a square, like ground yourself here, because this is the center of your whole being. It like stands out from your heart. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Moving on to the 5th chakra. This one's pretty cool. So the 5th chakra, the throat chakra, the number 5 makes a star, and music mathematically comes from the, what's it called, like a pentagon? I don't even know. A star. So like the solfeggio scale comes from like fifths, comes from like, I don't know, there's this one video I recommend watching. I'm gonna look for it and link it, and it talks about how music comes from the maths of a star, like a shape, the 5-pointed, yeah. Okay, so the voice creates melody, creates music, and that is 5, that is music, that is the throat chakra. We'll move on to the 6th chakra, the third eye. So how does the number 6 relate to the third eye? I started thinking, well, if you have a, what's it, like a hexagon, and you draw 3 lines connecting like every other corner, it looks like a cube on, like you're looking at a cube through one of the corners, like that. Looks like a cube, right? And I was like, okay, a cube is a plane square and a plane square, like a square in the 2nd dimension and a square in the 2nd dimension connected with a line creates a cube. That is like a parallel dimension. That is also the way that you can understand the 5th dimension, and the 4th and the 5th and the 6th is just like you keep getting this like objects of like the dimension before it, connecting it with lines, and you create the next dimension. So 2nd dimensional square connected creates a cube. And so the third eye is what connects us to other dimensions. It's what connects us to parallel reality. So the third eye, number 6, the cube, I just kept thinking like, okay, other dimensions. And then 7th chakra, I didn't really like come up with anything yet. I'm sure in future meditations I'm gonna receive more downloads, but for the 7th chakra I would just think of the whole chakra system. 7 days of the week, 7 notes in the musical scale, 7 colors of the rainbow, all matches up with our chakra system, is all based on the number 7. And then number 8 is my favorite, because number 8 in astrology deals with death and rebirth, deals with transformation. It deals with that like next step, you know, death and rebirth. So you finish one cycle and you start a new one. And in music, you know, you go from C to C. The next C is the next start to another cycle or another like scale of notes. And so the number 8 is that like endings and beginnings, that transformation, that new beginning, that new step. And then 8 on its side is infinity. So it's just like an infinite cycle that keeps on going forever, and it just keeps going to the next and to the next and to the next. So the number 8 was pretty cool. For the number 9, I would just think of like the spirally 9, like that. And so it's like almost a circle, but not quite. It's just like almost there, almost a 10, but it's missing something. And so the number 9 is a very karmic number. It deals with like chaos before perfection, the last few things that you have to deal with before you reach completion and all that. So I would just think, as I was thinking of the number 9, I was just like thinking like almost there. It's just like almost a full circle. And then for the number 10, I would just think like we did it, celebration, completion. And so I would do that 10 times. I would go through the whole chakra system. 1, the root chakra, piercing through a new veil, foundation. 2, creation, 2 things coming together in perfect harmonious coexistence to create something. 3, expanding to new horizons. 4, centering ourselves in the heart. 5, creating melodies, music. 6, tapping into different dimensions. 7, just going through the whole chakra system again, thinking of like the 7 days, the 7 colors, the 7 musical notes. 8, a new beginning, stepping into a new cycle, cycles, rhythms, endings and beginnings. Number 8. 9, almost there, almost completion. And 10, completion. And this video is about to be 40 minutes, so I'm gonna cut it at there. And thank you for watching if you watched all the way through. And yeah, it was an awesome experience. Madre Ayahuasca is a beautiful energy. She's connected to all of us. She's connected to all plants. She's Mother Earth. And I recommend everyone to consider trying it once in their life. Thank you.